Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. For today, we're going to be making this really cute little, I guess it's like a Thanksgiving kind of card. This one is really pretty and very easy to do. And I just wanted to do something that was very simple, but you could give to somebody. Like I even thought about putting these as like place settings for Thanksgiving, so you could prop them up like this, put the person's name right here on the top if you wanted to do like another leaf or something, and then it would be really fun, I think, to write them like something that you're thankful for that they did or something like that, or even just to give this to somebody during the holiday season. I think it'd be a really nice card to give. So this is what we're going to be making today. I'm going to try out a slight variation. I think I'm going to use the other side of this designer series paper. I don't know. We'll see what it looks like as we start to put it together. But to talk about everything that we need for today, so we're going to be using the Gather Together stamp set again. We just used this in last week's project, and I think it's just a very nice stamp set to use this time of year. So we're going to be using this one again, and really we're just using the Gather Together sentiment. So as I mentioned in that last project that we did, if there is another sentiment that you really like Season of Thanks, I think would be really pretty to put on this one also. Even this May this season bring you smiles and love that will last all year. That one would be really pretty, or any other kind of sentiment that you want to use would be very pretty with this one. So that's the stamp set that we're going to be using. And then we're also going to use the Gathered Leaves dies. These coordinate with that stamp set. They come together in a bundle. A lot of this stuff comes together in our Come Together suite, but we're definitely going to be using those. Those are going to be like the showcase of this card. We're also going to be using the Pretty Peacocks ink pad. This is one of the ribbons from the Come Together ribbon combo pack, I think is what it's called, something like that. So this is the thicker one. We used the Cajun Craze like twine in last week's project, and that one's really pretty. So those two come together in one pack. And then for all of our paper that we have here, so I'm going to be using a piece of the designer series paper, the Come Together designer series paper. This piece is cut at 5.5 by 3.5. Like I said, this is the one that I used for my sample card. I think I'm going to flip it over and use its other side and see how it turns out. We may end up using this one still, but I just want to play with it and see what it looks like. So again, this is cut out 5.5 by 3.5. Then I have a piece of Pretty Peacock cardstock, which is cut out 5.5 by 3 3/4. And then I have my card base, which is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And this is Crumb Cake. And then I have these these 4 little scratch pieces of paper here. So, excuse me, I'm trying to not catch my breath. I feel like I have like a frog or something in my throat. So I'm trying not to cough. But these are 4 scrap pieces of paper. When you're selecting your scraps, so we're going to be cutting out 3 leaves to make this card. So really you just need scratch pieces of paper large enough to cut out the leaves. So we have Cajun Craze, Mint Macaron, Pretty Peacock, and Very Vanilla. Like I said, these are the different sizes that I just had on hand, so I grabbed them, but you don't need a huge piece. You just need a piece big enough to cut out the leaf that you are concerned about. So I would say take your dies, play around with it, see if you have some scraps that'll work, and then go from there. So that is everything that we need. Let's go ahead and jump into the project. Okay, so I took the 4 leaf dies out of my set, and these are the 4 that we're going to cut out. So this largest one, that's just the outline, that's what we're going to put on the Very Vanilla. And then the others, you can just kind of pick which ones you want to use. It's completely up to you. I think I'm going to do this large one and Pretty Peacock and this. What I would suggest, and what I did when I was creating this, is I cut out a couple different variations. So I think I did just one of the Very Vanilla because that one's pretty basic, and then all of the smaller ones I did like 3 in each color, so I did each leaf in each color. I'm just going to roll with this. You only need 1 leaf per color, so I'm just going to roll with this because that's what I'm going to do. So let's put these all on my cutting plate. Trying to figure out how to put all of these on the plate at one time. There's that one, and that one, and then this final one we'll put through this way, like that. See? Piece of cake. So now I'm going to make my little sandwich here and crank these guys through. So the one thing that I would suggest, if you have plates like I do that don't push or that don't have as good of a cut as some plates do, like if you need a shim or something like that, I would crank these through a couple of times. And the only reason I say that is because there is a little bit of embossing for the smaller leaves. So I find that it really does benefit to crank it through a couple of extra times just to make sure, whoops, just to make sure that you get that impression. So now I'm going to take all my dies, set them off to the side, and then see our pretty leaves. Whoop. They're flying all over the place. This time I only had one that got stuck. Oops. So this one didn't cut all the way through. So I'm just going to take my die again, and you can find where it goes and you can just kind of lock it into place. I'm just going to do this on the side over here. I'm not going to bring my big shot back over just in the sake of saving some time. You can see my hand. I'm cranking it through the big shot. Let's see if we got it cut that time. Yeah, now it's good. So we have our 4 leaves here, and then this one is stuck to my plate. So I should get some new plates, don't you guys think? I probably should. I just always feel like I want to spend my money on like fun stuff, so I don't ever get like the replacement plates and all of that stuff, because that just seems boring to me. I don't want to waste my money on that. But you should replace your plates and all of that good stuff. Anyway, I'm not here to lecture you. So I'm going to take those 3, set them off to the side just for 5.2 seconds, bring in my Pretty Peacock ink pad and my stamp here, and we're just going to stamp our sentiment. Oops, after I put my thumb all up in my ink. I'm going to stamp it just like that. Perfect. I'm going to pause for a second and wipe my hand off so I don't completely ink up this project, because I would do that. I would do it, and I have done it. Many, many times I've messed up a project because I've stuck my fingers in ink and then my fingers all over the project. So I'm going to set that off to the side with the rest of our little friends. Actually, let me bring these back over just for a hot second. So we're going to start placing all of our items, all of our leaves and such on our piece of designer series paper. Oh, gotta reach for that one. Yep, I love it. I'm sold. I just wanted to kind of play with it and see what all the leaves look like on this piece of designer series paper versus the flip side, which is just these stripes. I love this side. It's absolutely amazing. So I'm going to use this side. So I'm going to take my piece of Pretty Peacock. I'm going to put my piece of designer series paper on it. So I'm just using some regular old snail. And with this, it's the exact same width. So you just want to kind of, I'm actually going to do it this way. You just want to line it up top to bottom. And then, like I said, the width is exactly the same, so it's just going to match up perfectly. Just like so. And mine was a little crooked. If you want to, you can always trim off the side if you have a little bit of hangover, but I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to roll with it. So next, I'm going to take a piece of ribbon, and I'm just going to cut it, leaving a couple tails on each side. This ribbon is really, really, really nice. You can actually make a very, very easy and pretty bow with this pretty effortlessly. I was trying to figure out a way to incorporate a bow into this project just so I could show you how easily I made one, but I think it looks better without the bow, so I just left it out. So I'm going to take a couple pieces of just regular old Scotch tape, and I'm going to position where I want my ribbon. I want it at like cutting the piece of paper into thirds probably, and I want it in the bottom third. So I'm just going to flip this over and tape down, whoops. I'm going to tape down one side, and then just because I have OCD, I like to put my piece of tape, and then I like to do this and just make sure it's nice and pretty and lined up, and then fold it over just like so. And I got a little extra here, so I'm just going to cut off that piece, and we are good to go. So now this is what my card base looks like. Now for the fun part, which is sticking down all of the fun little embellishments. So I'm going to go ahead and use glue dots for my leaves. I just find, and I'm not going to touch my larger leaf now, I'm just pulling it in because we are going to use it in a second. I find that to stick down onto the ribbon, the leaves just stick a little bit better with the glue dots. And not that all of them are going to be stuck to the ribbon, but I like to have the option of playing around with it to figure out what I really like. So I'm just going to put glue dots on the back of all of my leaves. Just like so. Oops. One more right in the middle. And then almost there. Do, 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 do. And then I'm just going to play around with them. Oops, I got a glue dot stuck to my finger. I think I kind of know my placement, but I'm just going to kind of stage it just to see if I want to move anything around a little bit. So I'm putting the mint macaron, the pretty peacock, and then the Cajun craze on top. And then see, so I want to move this. I think my mint macaron is good, so I'm just going to stick that one down. But I think these others I want to kind of move up just a bit and then see how my larger leaf sticks on. So yeah, I actually think I want to move my mint macaron also. Can I move it? It's going to be tricky. There we go. You might lose a glue dot in the making, and that is a-okay. So let's try this. Yeah, I think that's much better. So I'm just going to stick that down just like that. And then with my larger leaf, I'm actually going to put this on with dimensionals just because I like that little extra bit of texture that it gives, and dimension, no pun intended. I like having it raised up just a smidgen so you can, it kind of stands out. You always want your sentiment, or I should say I always like when my sentiments stand out a little bit from just the rest of the card. I think it just gives it a nicer look. So I'm just going to stick that down right there. And I know that my little, the little bottom piece of my leaf is hanging off a little bit. That's totally fine because we're now just going to put this on our card base. So it's really not that big of a deal if it doesn't, completely fit on the one piece. Not a big deal at all. And then again, this edge is going to be flush with our card base. So I am going to just center it top to bottom and not be too concerned about the edges because it's going to be the exact same width. And then all we're going to do is fold this bad boy in half, crease that edge really nicely. And that's our card for today, guys. So here are two different options. They look slightly different, but you can totally play around with it and see what you like, what you don't like. Use the different designer series paper because it's there and it is amazing. And see what you like, see how you what you come up with. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's project. I did want to throw out one thing really fast. So next week, so a week from today, so Saturday, November 30th, I'm going to be starting something super, super exciting. So it's going to be a pretty large undertaking, and I'm a little nervous for it. It's going to be a lot of work, but I'm very, very, very excited to start working on it and to bring it to you guys. So make sure that you stay tuned and that you catch next week's video because I'm going to be talking about it and kind of announcing it in that video. So yeah, don't miss next week's, and I will see you guys then. Yeah. I was going to say something else, but I don't know what it was. That's what it was. If you guys want to see all of the products to make this project, check out the coordinating blog post. It's the first link in the description box below. You can also purchase all of this stuff just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net, or littlemencreation.com, and that'll take you everywhere that you need to go. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, make sure you stay tuned and you come back next week because there are going to be some very exciting things going on. So anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!